Happy February 27th. JLD here, and welcome to Strategy Today. In this show, we talk about why Bitcoin might have a magnet pulling it down to $76,000. Maybe not, but we talk about why it's a possibility. We also talk about the $1 billion gain that happened last week for Strategy when it comes to Bitcoin. We talk about Michael Saylor telling Jeff Bezos to buy Bitcoin in no uncertain terms. And then we share the all-in-one guide to all things strategy. This is the comprehensive place that you should send to any family and friends who are interested in learning more about this amazing company. And then there is so much more. This is a big episode. Put something in the comment section below. Let me know where you're watching from, what you're thinking, any questions you might have. Great conversations are happening there, so thank you. This video is not financial advice, and let's dive right in. All right, first post of the day is from Mr. Michael Saylor himself. Last week, MSTR treasury operations resulted in a Bitcoin gain of 12,520 Bitcoin, which equates to a Bitcoin dollar gain in excess of $1 billion. That's why you can see the Bitcoin yield is almost at 7% already. Michael Saylor, you're working hard for us. I am all in, brother. Chris says, pay attention. There is no better time to build your conviction in MSTR than right now. Fortunately for you, I've assembled a single document that contains everything you need to know about the strategy thesis. It includes a one-page summary, a mind map, full investment thesis, frequently amplified quants, FAQs, a curated resource list, and more. And as you go down here, there's just going to be some great things that are awesome to just build your conviction. But also, if people are asking you, hey, what is this strategy thing? This is what you send them. End of story. I'm honored because under resources, you can see strategy today with both my Twitter handle and my YouTube link. So I am one of the very few resources that Chris recommends. So Chris, thank you for that. Highly appreciate it. And this is actually the list that I use, the actual full investment thesis right here for my 1 hour and 48 minute complete history of MicroStrategy. So if you want to check it out, that's under my playlist on my YouTube channel under the Master Strategy series. I also have some other amazing videos there as well. So Chris, thanks for putting this together, and thank you for the inclusion. BitStrategy says strategy makes use of the devil candles while we wait for the God candles. Now, what does this mean? To me, this is very important. When strategy is crashing, let's actually take a step back. When a company like Palantir is crashing, there's like no bright side to that. It's just a stock that's going down. It's a stock that's going down, down, down. Of course, it had an amazing run up, but when it goes down, there's no real positive spin to it. But with strategy, it's so much different because MSTR has been created by Michael Saylor and the strategy team to make use of the crashes. So during the crashes, the volatility spikes, the IV spikes, and it makes strategy a much more appealing investment for so many institutions, for so many convertible bond traders, and all the other things that are happening. So strategy makes use of the devil candles when the stock is going down while we wait for the God candles. And the God candles are coming. It's just a matter of when. But we need the down, we need the up, we need the volatility, which we'll be diving into more in a second here with BitStrategy, who says volatility attracts volume by providing favorable trading conditions, options market, etc. 2, provides appropriate undulating price conditions for convertible debt and equity raises. Convertible debt raises when the stock is relatively cheap, equity raises when the stock is relatively expensive. As a result, there is never a bad price for MSTR to trade at. The only bad price is the same price. If it's moving, we're grooving. Strategy does not want to just creepy crawl up. I know, as you know, sleeping at night for investors, we may want that to just be like, oh, I just would love to see this go up 1 or 3% a week. Like that'd be amazing. And this up to the right, it can't happen, because if that did happen, this stock would already be in the thousands. It would already be there because it would be an obvious win. But because it's risky, because it's uncertain, because there's a lot of people that don't believe in the thesis, it goes way up in the good times and way down in the bad times. And again, if it's moving, we're grooving. BitStrategy says the relative stability of Bitcoin during this period of extreme volatility and strategy is a testament to the success of our extraordinary business model. The MSTR stock price is moving exactly like Saylor planned it would. Quite remarkable. And again, I really want you to take this one line in. The MSTR stock price is moving exactly like Saylor planned it would. He needed the volatility to the upside. He needs the volatility to the downside. It is that implied volatility, that IV, that makes this such a valuable commodity, such a valuable stock, such a valuable investment. The Bitcoin therapist says, Saylor tells Bezos to buy Bitcoin. And Bezos posted this right here, blah, blah, blah. And Saylor wrote back, Bitcoin is the best way to promote personal liberties and free markets. It offers an open protocol for prosperity that can be delivered to everyone via digital technology. So hopefully, and no doubt, Bezos is reading this and hopefully he gets a clue. He probably already has a clue. He just is hamstrung because his board and all those other slow, unwise individuals are riding that ship. MicroStrategy shares, is MSTR coming back to life, inhaling volatility like a phoenix stirring from the ashes? Fair value rank and NAV rank remain deep in oversold territory, setting the stage for a powerful resurgence. And I highly recommend clicking on these different charts that he has here. I'll have the link to this post in the show notes below, but it's just awesome stuff. I could just study Marty's stuff all day long. I love when the MicroStrategist posts great stuff along these lines. So definitely check it out. And BitStrategy is coming in hot today. He's saying, funnily enough, it was this logic that stopped me from investing in MSTR between 2020 and mid 2023. I thought Saylor was highly retarded for buying the top. Why not leave a little in the tank? Has he never traded a cycle? In the end, it was the consistency of his approach, the consistent execution of strategy that gave me the certainty I needed to invest. I don't have to worry about Saylor getting smart. I know he's going to do what he said he was going to do. Buy the top. Let's go. MSTR True North, no episode this week. Some of the crews in New York bringing suits up to speed on the most significant corporate finance story of the century, MSTR. In the meantime, here's some historical MSTR price perspective from Mason to hold you over. See you next Wednesday. In Mason posts, since early 2023, MSTR has endured 5 major drawdowns, each followed by all-time highs. This week's sell-off is the steepest yet. Historically, buying after corrections of this size has been a great bet, not financial advice. And then look at this. Back in March of 2023, boom, down 40%, ran it right up. And then in September of 2023, down 35%, ran it back up. Early in 2024, down 40%, ran it back up. Down almost 50% in May, ran it back up. Now down 55%. And where we're at right now. And where are we going? Well, only time will tell. But from the looks of this graph, let's just have some patience. Let's just focus on time in the markets, not timing the markets. This post from Matt was what I wanted to kind of focus on today because I just think it's good to be mentally prepared to start thinking about these numbers, and they might not happen. 76,000 for Bitcoin might not happen. But if it does, listen, it's part of the process. Not all CME gaps get filled, but most do, especially large ones like the election gap you see on the chart. Stocks already filled their election gaps. That means stocks went way up after the election, and now they've come back to where they were at the election. In parabolic periods where FOMO, fear of missing out, and increased liquidity drive the market higher or lower, they can be left behind, never to be seen again. Bitcoin is less volatile than in the past. While it is difficult for a single entity to move the market, a group of independent entities can. A CME gap is the light that attracts the moths. Traders and hedge funds use them to their advantage. It's what makes a market. It's similar to a heavy liquidation level in the perp markets. In this current macro environment, with stalling liquidity, concern about global commerce, in a stalling in traditional markets, I think this gets filled. This is an untested trading range, and volatility within it has already increased. It's been 3 months, but it's time to get filled. Sorry, that came out wrong. Expect a massive limit buy to be set up around 75K. This week, I will be writing about this in the Strategic UTXO, a weekly newsletter about Bitcoin and macro. You can see the gravity in the chart, Matt says. And he has this right here to the left. This is what happened during the election, a huge gap. You just woke up and boom, things happen and straight up. And then this is what we saw. And then corrections. And then is this going to be filled? This gap right here, this green gap that Matt's referring to. And if it does, if this gets down to here, Bitcoin, then is it just going to pop down to the 75, 76 magnet range before it consolidates for its next move up? Only time will tell. But I just think it's good to mentally think that, hey, this is a possibility. Chris wants us to know that Strategy is a Bitcoin beacon, acting as a lighthouse in the storm of fiat decay, illuminating the path for individuals and corporations towards the safe harbor in Bitcoin. And here we are. Strategy is a Bitcoin beacon. Bitcoin's here. Strategy given the lighthouse, letting people come on in safe and sounds. Another great graphic from Chris. Now let's move into rule number 12 of Bitcoin from none other than Mr. Michael Saylor.
Rule number 12, all your models will be destroyed. I'm talking your political models, everything that we learned over 10,000 years. How do you run a city? How do you run a company? How do you run a country? How do you understand economics? What is inflation? What is economic prosperity? What is a job? Why should I do this? When you're looking backwards, all these people, they want to look at time series of historic stuff. All I see is a bunch of statisticians analyzing people with chariots and bows and arrows and camels and elephants, fighting in wars 3,000 years ago, and we show up with explosives and aircraft, and they're trying to back test their models and figure out, how explosives and aircraft impact the way they organize their elephants. It's like all the models, they don't really make any sense anymore. If you understand Bitcoin, you realize you got to throw them all away. When Godzilla walks onto the playground, all your models are worthless. They're all going to be destroyed.
And there you have it, another episode of Strategy today. And as promised, I am buying Strategy every single day. I am putting in a $210 order of MSTR every trading day of 2025. Here I am yesterday at $255. I bought $211 worth for a 0.83 share of MSTR. I continue to stack. My dollar cost average is really dropping nicely now. I'll be giving the full portfolio breakdown this coming Sunday. And speaking of Sunday, let's stick together. It has nothing to do with Sunday, but whatever. What a segue. Let's stick together on this. These are some precarious times. These are times of massive volatility. Unfortunately, right now to the downside. But again, this is part of the game. Volatility is what we signed up for when we sign up with Bitcoin. And of course, MSTR is volatility stacked on that volatility. So surround yourself with the right people. You're the average of those 5 people you surround yourself with. I'm honored to be one of those 5 people in your day, at least for right now. And as Michael Saylor loves to say, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.